player that he is, but when it comes to these LAN tournaments, to the really big cups, he so far has been unsuccessful at securing himself a first place. But in the meantime, let us already take a quick look at the champion bans and the map picks. Sirius will be banning the Visor. I would say that's no surprise, knowing how good Rapha is with that champion. In the meantime, Rapha has decided to get rid of the Nyx. In terms of maps, Sirius picked Awoken, Rapha picked Blood Run. Wow. And then finally, it will be Molten Falls as our decider.
It's really fantastic that Nyx has allowed so many players to express themselves in this tournament, and as a result has been banned more than some others. We've really seen a huge plethora of not only champs played, but champs banned ahead of time to make sure that some of these players have a little bit of extra something to think about. But
well, we actually got to sit down with Rafa last night and talk to him, and we were all obviously.
Oh, you want to talk about last night? Okay, I was gonna.
Not the McDonald's run.
Okay, yeah.
When we were quizzing him and we're asking, like, what are you going to ban against Sirius? And he, like, instantly already knew. He's like, yeah, I'm banning Nyx. And we're like, what about Death Knight? Because that's been a staple, ban for you. And he says, well, I'm more worried about his Nyx because he can have more playmaking potential with Nyx. Yeah. So he already knew off the get-go what he wanted to take away. When it came to, like, what maps you're going to pick, he's like, you know what, I'm going to take the night to think about it, process it, wake up and decide. And Blood Run, for his pick for me, is really interesting, actually. I'm kind of curious why, but it would fit if he wants to go Keel on that map. But I'm just kind of worried how it's going to work out for them because he had such a rough run against Agent yesterday on Blood Run dealing with the Tribal. And Sirius from Serbia, relatively close to Russia, is going to obviously be very good at Blood Run since it's one of the home maps for that direction. But Tribal, we haven't really seen him use it too much, but I'm assuming he's been able to train against the likes of Agent to know how to use it and how to counter it.
Yeah, I don't think it would be very difficult for anybody to replicate what Agent did to Rapha on Blood Run. But Rapha calling it himself, like you mentioned, a bit of a shocker. But as we know, Rapha always thinking a few steps ahead of everything. Like, we could probably ask him what his picks and bans are for the next tournament, and he'd be able to tell us. Sirius, of course, is relatively new to the LAN environment, and here he's definitely showing up with some bravado. He's definitely got this wall of ego in front of him, like, all right, cool, I've showed up to throw down. And now he's, if he hasn't proven it yet, and I honestly think he has, but I think he's got his sights set on Rapha here.
It's crazy for me that he's not seemed happy at all with any of his heroes. Like, he beat John, and he just looks pissed. Like, it looks like he just lost.
59% trash, just absolute trash. Yeah,
and like come on, you're allowed to enjoy yourself a little bit. You're allowed to be happy with how you're performing, and he's already had such a great tournament so far. I wonder if he wins the tournament, is he still going to be upset? And he's like, yeah, I only hit 60%. I was really gunning for 65 on LG.
Well, it's a cliche, but here at a LAN party, your greatest opponent is always yourself. It's one of the major things that differentiates one player from another. Like, after a match, during a match, how much are they kind of dwelling on what just happened?
You saw Cooler yesterday.
Oh, yeah,
he
Cooler.
was literally playing base, and like, we talked to him after, and we're like, yeah, how
like,
the
base
game?
Who?
Yeah, he's like, how the game versus base go? He's like, that match versus Claus. I'm like, no, but how was base? Like, yeah, but Claus. I'm just like, wow, like, how can you play at this kind of level but have your mind be somewhere else?
Oh yeah, I think that, for Sirius, it's a lot about just being in the LAN environment. That's a lot for him, because later in the evening he definitely loosened up a bit, was buying people all sorts of drink all night long. So
maybe a little strategic there.
Coca-Colas and Fantas.
Coca-Colas, Fantas, milkshakes, all of those things. Yeah, nothing else. But
just couldn't put him down.
So yeah, I think that it was just like the heat of the moment. Like, he finally beat an opponent. He got into the money, because that's big for him too. He covered all of the expenses himself to come here. He put in the effort. He hasn't been sponsored in that sense. So for him to then finally make it into the money and redeem himself, that's big.
Well, let's see if he can pump up the jam a little bit more and get into the semis, but he's only got Rapha to get through. But they're going to be starting off on Awoken. We've got Ranger picked so far, and Death Knight has been, of course, very dangerous on a map this small and intimate. And we've got Sirius actually not going for Death Knight, bringing out a BJ and a Galena.
And we heard Rafa say in the interview yesterday just how strong Death Knight is. So for him to be able to play Death Knight and not have to play against one, that's got to be like a big sigh of relief for him.
Yeah, must definitely be. But, he is still up against that BJ. And when you've got LG as good as Sirius does, then that is a champion to be reckoned with.
And speaking of the LG, I'm glad you mentioned that actually, Flea, because we talked to Rapha again last night, and he was saying there's like a range that I don't want to fight Sirius, the mid-range. He wants to either be right up in his face, which Death Knight's perfect for, or be out of his range far away to kind of mitigate that LG potential that Sirius has. So
what was it he said about his LG? It's the closest to a hitbot,
aimbot he's ever seen.
Yeah, man. I mean, you've got to play the positioning game. That's what Rapha has to do this time.
All right, well, I'm going to be getting out of here, but Rapha and Sirius, good luck to both of you. Going to have to find out how it goes.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jahar.
Yep.
And while you do get out of here, we're about to get into game here on Awoken in our first map here of our second quarterfinal. It's a best of 3, and we're tagging along with Rapha off the bat, who's going to be starting with the Death Knight.
Yep, Death Knight going up against Galena right away, and Rapha immediately already delaying the Mega Health. Getting himself on that LG. Still needs quite a few other weapons right now, but he is definitely looking out not to get in that perfect mid-range against Sirius where he can use that LG oh so effectively. There comes Sirius from down below. Rapha not hitting any opening damage right there.
I do like the Death Knight Ranger. Again, like the burst potential out of those 2 champions. And then Galena, you can always use if you do potentially get into a mid-range fight to pop that totem down. Rapha going to be the first one getting some damage done.
Yeah, absolutely. Rapha has his eyes on the heavy. That one final rocket is going to make him retreat though, and now there is no delay left between the 2 major items. And Rapha finally gets his hands on that railgun. It's got the flames ready too, and Sirius. Oh, Sirius is gonna come through. Perfect read by Rapha. Flames are gonna be hurting, but the totem is there to defend them as well. Rail coming through. Rapha, first kill of the series, looking solid.
I was really questioning like the use of the flame strike there and like where it was, because he could have used it around the corner, but he actually like blocked off his area of retreat. He made it so he couldn't go past that, we would take too much damage, and he was able to juggle him into the fire for extra. Now the LG coming through, he has the initial start, and Sirius will drop out another champion. He's gonna have the Ranger, but Rapha has not been moved yet on this Death Knight.
Yeah, Sirius dropping onto that heavy perhaps a bit too aggressively, didn't have the weapons to take the fight with. Rapha of course had the LG, perfectly tracking him from the right distance too, so very little Sirius could have done there. He went for the shotgun, but didn't quite manage to put out the damage. And now Rapha is just holding control of the mid area. He still is denying, I believe, Sirius that LG, and that's something that Rapha is definitely going to want to keep up. Sirius spawned on the side of the map that is away from the LG, and Rapha would like to keep it that way. No dot is going to rocket jump up. There comes the flame. Sirius is going to go down. Rapha 3-0 and relatively quickly too. This is a really good start from Rapha.
Yeah, and actually a really risky play there at the end with that rocket jump too. But you can see on your screen again that area denial keeps him locked in this location to be very easy to hit rockets. And I think we saw Sirius try to go for a rocket jump right there, but Rapha caught him with the rail to actually eliminate him and get that first frag. But yeah, Rapha's still respecting the orbs out of obviously Sirius here, and I was surprised to see the rocket jump because that's a trajectory that you can read into. And if you're someone like Dewey, that's just free pickings for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's so risky to do. He did get away with it though, and now Rapha raining down the damage from above, but Sirius dodging.
How did he get the light and escape? Like Rapha literally said every light armor on this map is a death sentence.
Yeah. Yeah, and somehow Sirius just managed to pick it all up and get out of the room just fine. Mega and Heavy are both up. Rapha's gonna leave up his item, the Mega Health. Gonna see if he can do some damage to Sirius first. Won't quite be able to do it just yet.
Well, remember, Rapha is one of the best players when it comes to leaving his item up to do damage to when you pick yours up. So he looked for it over towards Heavy, but didn't hear Sirius going for it, so backs away towards his Mega. And now the Tribal doing some good work here for him.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage, and he's gonna trap Sirius again. The flames, that's just gonna evaporate his opponent. And Rapha trying to force out the spawn. He's gonna get it. Sirius over, doing decent amount of damage, but Rapha will take Heavy. He's gonna rocket jump up. He's gonna try and make his way over to Mega right away. This is probably too risky for Sirius to go up against right away.
Oh no, he's waiting for the light. He doesn't, all he has is an LG, and Rapha has everything he needs to fight this one out, Flea.
Yeah, that's LG, but I mean, Sirius is LG. That's something that many people talk to me about. I was talking about it to Dewey yesterday, and he said Sirius is so good, not just because of his LG accuracy, but also because he is capable of hitting the shots from angles that he really shouldn't be able to. When he's clearly outpositioned, he still manages to dish out the damage.
3 seconds on his Flame Strike. He's not going to be able to live that long, though, and Sirius does eliminate him. He does take away Heavy, but I don't think Sirius can get there in time to take Mega, or actually, he should be able to now. The spawn coming in for Rapha over towards LG, but Rapha steals it away in the midst of time.
Sirius, too aggressive. Good rockets though, but he shouldn't have gone for Mega right away. Rapha was just a little bit too fast and caught him off right there. 2-0 for Rapha, and this is actually Sirius's map pick. This Is this starting to worry you?
Most of the map that he doesn't lose on, he said, but he did lose yesterday, unfortunately, against CNZ on it. And they said he didn't lose to Rapha on it either, but, I mean, Rapha is playing a fantastic game. And if you're serious, I'm actually really surprised to not see the Death Knight actually picked up for him. The rail not going to land, and that's going to be a decent amount of damage now done. As you can see, Rapha with no rail looking for that tribal and machine gun. And he's looking to catch him out over towards Omega, but Sirius has backed off over towards LG.
Yeah, Rapha's use of the Death Knight Flames has been absolutely superb this match. I don't think he's even missed one of it. He's always been able to do some damage with it every single time he used it. Heavy will be going to Rapha. Serious rocket jumping up. He's not even going to go for Mega. He's just going to ride for Rapha, trying to do the damage. And now there's a 5-second delay between the two major items that might be exploited when the next rotation comes around.
And Sirius is being gifted a lot of free rail shots. He's just not hitting them. And you can't afford to do that against someone like Rapha. He connects 2 in a row, looking for the third. Not going to connect that one, but Sirius finally comes back in. The Death Knight going to be charging out of Rapha as he's looking for the Flame Strike. He's going to be able to catch him out here. He's not going to even use it because he knows he has him dead to rights. And Rapha is looking so damn solid. He's also 2 frags away from closing out this first map.
Yeah, if you just take a look at the weapon statistics, Rapha hitting 75% of his rails so far, as opposed to Sirius 28.
You can't escape that.
No.
Like if you're serious, because if you go to the left to go that direction, you're gonna run through fire. If you don't move, you're gonna take a lot of damage. Really smart use of the ability there.
Yeah, also very interesting to see is how Sirius has only been able to hit 45 shots with the LG. I mean, he still has 47% accuracy, but he hasn't been able to do that much with it. And Rapha has been putting out a lot more damage with the LG. Just because of the better positioning, Rapha is making the better decisions, picking the better fights, and it's really hurting Sirius.
Well, it's hard to do LG damage when you get bursted down instantly by Rapha on the Death Knight, especially when he's only going for these rail fights right now. Again, trying to play that long range or that super close range fight. You can see here, not trying to give Sirius opportunity to use rail, but he actually might fall from this one, and there we go. Sirius connects the shots he needs and finally gets the frag on the board.
Yeah, Rapha sticking around a little bit too long right there. He was waiting for the flames. He wanted to collide them just on Sirius, but unfortunately he ended up taking one rail too many. Sirius dropping onto Rapha, and that is no escape, even turning on the dual wield. And down goes Rapha. Mega up in just a second, but in the meantime, Rapha did manage to get that heavy armor.
And he used the orb to get up towards rail too. Really trying to put some emphasis on it. You can see Sirius backing away. He's got 96 LG ammo. Doesn't have dual wield for another 28 seconds though, and Rapha going to be walking potentially into a trap here. That's a good little LG to rail, and Rapha not going to be free just yet. You can see Sirius on the chase, but a good disengaging rocket does land out of Rapha. Keeps his distance for now, but he's still down by the 1 champion.
Yeah, Sirius for the first time this map is actually starting to get something that's resembling control. This heavy is going to be important. He can't land any of the shots, and it will be Rapha to pick that one up. Even going for the railgun, which he unfortunately misses. And Sirius and Rapha stacks are pretty similar. Sirius got the Mega, the health advantage. Rapha has got that armor lead. Both major items are up at around the same time though. Maybe Sirius can keep control of his middle area and then also choke Rapha out of heavy. But he's misreading him entirely.
Oh, yeah, almost crossed paths there.
Yep.
But it looks like Rapha might actually just give up these items. He's trying to go for the Mega pickup here, but he's right under Sirius. And oh my god, Sirius again. Almost checking him. He's finally going to spot him out now.
Yeah.
He doesn't get a single point of damage done, but he's going to be able to punish him here, or should be able to over towards heavy. But again, he misses the rail shot. Rapha lands it now with the LG coming through.
Yep. Sirius did do a good decent amount of damage right there though, and at this point he's probably going to start thinking about running down the clock. There's a little over a minute left. Awoken is not a good map to run away at all, but when you've got the stack advantage, so Sirius has to be careful not to give Rapha too much for free.
Well, remember what I say about stacks and orbs?
Yeah, that's true. We've seen it several times. Orb does not care about stack. Remember it, but there we go. That damage is just obscene. Sirius is gonna push for it. Almost nailing Rapha in the face with that rocket. Can't quite get it just yet, but Rapha's got nowhere to run. Oh my god, Rapha! Oh, almost turning it around from an impossible situation.
Impossible is like the perfect word. He should not be able to win in that situation. Sirius actually almost did fall, but he finally gets the round. He finally stops the rot, most importantly, and takes the potential sweep here on the first map away from Rapha. But can he maintain it now into the next round? We're into round 4. He's going to be starting off with Ranger up against Rapha on the Death Knight, so he's changing up his style here.
Yep.
Change up his first picks. He's going to catch Rapha on the engagement over towards Mega. We'll get the first shot, but not hit the next
rail.
2.
Good opening rail by Rapha right there. In comes the nails. Oh, Sirius doing a decent amount of damage with the Tri-Bolt right there. 5-second delay between the two items. And Sirius got the top positioning, or bottom positioning rather. Moving towards the railgun, Sirius still wants to get his hands on that LG. Rapha knows it, but this is an opportunity for Sirius. He spots Rapha on this side of the map, so he knows that he, when he's ready for it, can move over to the LG and take it safely.
That's a really nice rocket jump too to not give Rapha an angle.
That is one of the situations, the few situations that I have seen where your actual weapon model blocks you from getting information. Sirius had his rocket down over the little gateway, and so he couldn't see Rapha drop down there. And Sirius is just taking such a long time to get that LG. I would have expected him to go for it almost straight away. He's just taking these finds without that weapon that he is so adept with.
Again, Rapha going to be picking up heavy. This time Sirius won't be challenging out on this one. Every time I see someone go, they get really scared. But Mega going to be secured, so now Rapha has double stacks. But again, Sirius is on Ranger. Ranger doesn't care about stack.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a misplay by Sirius, though. He wanted that LG, and he finally did go and pick it up, but he waited so long with doing it, and then the moment that he decided to go for the weapon, it was actually on the items respawning, so he just backed away and gave Rapha full control. Oh! My god, that could have been a telefrag. I think that would have been the first telefrag we would have seen on stream this entire tournament. Heavy is up. Rapha is just hanging out with Mega though, and I don't think Sirius realizes that he has such a good opportunity to pick himself up. The Heavy, it's still up, but right now this might be too late. Rapha's got the top position, doing decent amount of damage, but the rail comes out of Sirius.
It's hard to make that drop, especially against LG, but Rapha's fighting back with his own LG. Sirius is hitting these shots, especially when he needs to. Nice rocket jump by Rapha. But as the Flame Strike comes through, and Sirius dodges all the damage with his own orb, and he gets the first frag of the round 2 minutes in. Rapha, though, he has opportunity to punish him, and there you go. The rocket comes in, trades 1 for 1, and it's going to be Galena versus Galena now.
Yeah, Sirius, he needs to take a bit of a read in Razy's notebook right there, because he should have just let Rapha get away. He shouldn't have gone for the shot right there. He was so low, he was at a bad position, and he still went for the shot, misses it, and Rapha just capitalizes off of it instantly. Mega up first, and then there's a 10-second delay between the two major items.
Curious to see where Rapha will put these totems down, most importantly. It'll be very difficult with the way both players are moving to get a triple stack down. He's actually been able to catch him out here. The rail's not going to land, though, and Sirius, he's going to be the one to hit that shot. Rapha's not going to care, as he does get Mega. And he does have Sirius potentially locked into this area. Spots him out again, but that was a good disengaging shot yet again.
Yeah. And here we go, we're seeing the LG versus the Rockets. Rapha pretty low, but Sirius even lower. Rapha going for the backwards rocket jump just to get out of the room quickly and escape any potential damage, doing so perfectly. And Rapha definitely the one with the better side of the map to stack up again. Sirius is still low and he's stuck down in the corner of death. But Rapha doesn't capitalize off of it. And Sirius...
He can't really challenge out towards Heavy. Sirius can't because of the stack difference, because he knows Mega was picked up. Rapha should have the opportunity to get both, but again, he's going to leave the item up. He wants to kill that Rockets. Both of them out of Sirius just stops Rapha again in his tracks.
Yeah.
Heavy still should be going over to Rapha in the meantime, but Sirius is waiting for a rail angle here towards window. And Rapha doesn't give it to him. And I know that's something Rapha's been talking about a lot to us, about certain players, how they give up a lot of free rail angles and free damage when they're traversing the map. He's not going to give him a single shot here, and he's going to get Mega in this fight.
Yeah, that was bad for Sirius. He had the positioning, but Rapha just snuck in from behind him, set up with the tribal, zoned him out of the room, and now Rapha picked up both of the major items consecutively, and he's just going to move right back to Heavy. He's content not taking the fight right there.
So Sirius needs to find a way to fight back in this one. I think Rapha just heard him, and he will get that first shot off. He has such a massive lead here. Sirius just barely going to scathe by here with that jump.
Oh my god, Rapha is just piling on the damage, and Sirius taking a turn back. 9 HP! 30 seconds to go. This could still be Sirius's play, though. Is Rapha gonna go for the Mega?
He needs to.
Sirius gonna counter it. Sirius, is he gonna come up? There he goes. Dual shotgun. It is going to make all the difference. And now Sirius is actually gonna find Rapha again.
Rocket jumps up.
Heavy is up.
Oh, Rapha almost dropped straight into that rocket. That good fadeaway comes in. The orb as well. He's going to use it to get through the teleporter. We're going to get into sudden death now, but it's just one champion each, so it doesn't matter in the end anyways. It was already sudden death.
Yeah, Sirius right now on the BJ. Rapha on the Ranger, but Rapha's got the better positioning for the first major item. He's got his sounds set up for that Mega health. Oh, nice rail. Gonna get a second one. Might be able to find Rapha again. Rapha's still at a stack advantage right now. Heavy is going to be so important.
Thing is that Sirius hasn't picked up any hourglasses, and I don't think Rapha knows this because he doesn't have dual wield up. He used the orb, uses the heavy, or gets the heavy as well, goes through the teleporter. Sirius not going for the chase, but he's gonna have dual wield up right now. The problem is he has 9 HP. He's trying to run away.
Oh,
Rapha's trying to close this one
corner.
out. He's around the corner and he gets the frag, and Rapha will win map 1 here, 3-1.
Yeah, that was impressive plays by Rapha, for sure. Deservedly a win. But I do have to say, Sirius made a lot of mistakes. He definitely put himself in way too many positions where he was taking a lot of damage. That rail when he was down below and Rapha was over at rockets, he shouldn't have taken that shot.
The pickups, 17-9 in heavies and 18-8 in megas for Rapha. Again, it was a 3-1, and the first two rounds that he did win were 3-0s, I believe, in elimination. So it's not like that's unexpected, but that does show Rapha's focus on map control, focus on picking up these items, and the damage difference as well. 4,500 to 1,900, all in the way of Rapha.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, solid plays from both, but I do think Sirius, he gave it up at a few times. I mean, he shouldn't have gone for that one rail. That just gave away his position so easily. And then at the end, final round, final fight, I don't understand why he tried to take it. He was outpositioned. He didn't have full stack. Rapha had at Mega and then picked up Heavy, and he just had the rockets, and he still tries to go ahead and take that fight. Rapha lands the opening damage and the rail, and then he's just done for.
All right, we're about to hop into our second map. It's going to be Blood Run, and it was chosen by Rapha. The map that we saw Agent absolutely dismantle him on whenever Rapha tried to get aggressive. Hopefully, for the sake of Rapha, he's been able to look at what happened in that match and is be able to overcome it. For Sirius, hopefully actually was able to look into a page of the playbook of Agent and maybe use that to punish Rapha. But he's going to need this map for him to continue his journey in this tournament. Sirius has to win this map.
Yeah, and this is Rapha's map pick though, which, as we discussed earlier, is a little bit unusual. Not a map you very often see picked on the American side of things. But here we go. Sirius is going to lead off with the BJ. Rapha is again going for the Death Knight. Is Sirius going to change it? Is he going for the Death Knight himself? Yes, he is. Now Rapha might be going for a kill here. I would not be surprised, but instead the Galena comes out, perhaps a way to mitigate some of that damage, the burst damage that might be coming out of the BJ and the Death Knight.
Might be, but I think Rapha was really lucky that Sirius didn't go Death Knight on the first map. He's been very vocal about how strong Death Knight is, and he doesn't want to really play against it, which he didn't ban it specifically because he's more worried about the nicks of Sirius. But now going on to Blood Run, like this is Rapha's chance to get through. And keep in mind, the winner of this match goes on to play against Claws, so it's not like it gets any easier for you as the tournament progresses.
It gets harder and harder every single stage of the tournament. And we are about to jump into this one. This could be the decider of this series. This might actually be Rapha taking a 2-0 and moving on as the first American to place for the semifinals. And we are starting this one off on Sirius. Mega spawn for him. Getting the LG. Very aggressive start from Sirius. Just going for that LG, doesn't even pick up the rockets on his side of the map.
But DK versus DK. So the burst will be there to both. And actually, Rapha gets directly in front of him. Fire Strike going to come out of both players. I don't think anyone actually connected with the solid damage from this one. And Rapha hits a nice raise. Actually go for the push here with the shotgun. But he realizes with that heavy being taken, sorry, the light armor being taken, he's able to get stacked up enough to deal with what Rapha had to throw out.
Rapha, yeah, even pushing in for Mega Health. That will be going to Sirius, and now he's actually got an opportunity. If he can get positioning, there we go. Rapha coming through. That tribal damage. Oh, Sirius. I mean, I was about to say, the tribal damage from Rapha was expert. That's one of the things that I love seeing Rapha do on his stream, is he doesn't put the tribals in one place, but he like spreads them out. He moves his crosshair so that they're all perfectly in your path. And he did so much damage with it, but Sirius, unfortunately for Rapha, was ready for it. Oh, there we go. Mega taken, Mega gone. Just like that, direct to the face. That is going to help Sirius out massively. Next fight will be taking place around this heavy. Rapha is going to commit. And the flames, Sirius a little bit late on the reaction right there.
I think Rapha actually backtracked as well, held plus backwards to make sure he wasn't hit by that flame strike that came through. It actually, I think, saved his life, because we already heard Rapha talk about that we heard him talk about playing against Sirius, and for him to get that close and personal against the ability being up was very risky, but you know what? It worked out for him. Now he's got Mega. He's maybe looking for heavy control. The rocket's going to be raining in from above. Sirius hasn't connected the damage he's needed to so far.
Yeah, both players on the Ranger this time. That gives them so much mobility on this map. Now Sirius just stopping Rapha dead in his tracks, but still the American doing most of the damage. 60 points of health. Sirius is going for it. That rail was clutch. If Rapha had not hit that rail, he probably would have been dead at this point. But now Sirius spawns on the BJ. He has got an opportunity. He wants a weapon. He's got the LG. He's got the rail. He's actually playing it slow. He's looking for a trap on Rapha. Almost hitting the rail through the grate right there. That was super close. And Rapha is definitely outstacked by his opponent right now. But Heavy will be up in 5 seconds. There comes Sirius looking to take the fight right away. Rapha not interested in that one bit. Just going to back out.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep that distance, keep this champion lead, and most importantly, build up his stack back. But look at that, Sirius going to come around the corner, and what a shove out of Rapha, getting the first round now for himself.
Yeah, that could be tilting for Sirius. He needs to keep his balance. He needs to stay level, and he does not have to let it get to him. Look at that opening tribal right there, though. Sirius was happy about that. And
face.
Rapha, yeah, that's the Rapha face.
Just PTSD from playing against Agent yesterday right there for him.
Actually, really good opening from Rapha. Oh, that final rocket almost connected, but he gets both of the major items and most of the weapons too. And Sirius is left on nothing but his base stack and some light armors that he picked up along the way.
So this is tricky now because Rapha obviously wants to get close to Sirius, but he has to be very wary of the orb. So monitoring each other's cooldown is going to be very important for these players. They need to know when the orb's up, when the flame strike's up, because they have to react accordingly. They can't really afford to get up close and personal just yet.
Yeah, and both actually have their ability up right now. Heavy will be the next point. Oh my god, Rapha just hearing Sirius come through and he's going for it. Rapha, is he going to try and shut this one out, or is he just going to do the safety play and go for Heavy instead? That rail. Oh, the LG!
Oh
but
my god.
Flames, Rapha. There has been so many opportunities already.
Oh no.
Oh no. Sirius dropping down. The flames are good. The LG is good as well, and that is going to be great for Sirius, tying it up 1-1. We will remain on Rapha's point of view for the time being. Heavy up in 10 seconds, and there's a sizable delay before Heavy comes up. In comes Sirius. He doesn't have his ability just yet, but he's got that aim. Sirius, this is dangerous. I wouldn't go for the rail if I were you. Both players, are they going to retreat? Rapha, he can jump up there with the tribal for the nail, but he messes up the jump. Oh my god. But Sirius, railable himself, will be picking up Mega.
If he
reward.
died to that nail gun jump, we would have had the Rapha spot as well on this map.
Oh my god, yeah. I'm glad that Rapha didn't suicide unnecessarily again. I think that might be why he missed the jump. Because he did like jump, and then he was like, oh, maybe the third one would be too much.
Seriously, he's getting really aggressive here.
Yeah, but good place though, because he was not at the best range for Rapha to hit those tribals.
He just ate like another 60 damage there, but luckily he's going to retreat away to the 75 HP he has available to him.
Yeah, that note though, Rapha will be able to pick up Heavy and Mega as well. Sirius has to get by with the small armors around the map. Can he find a rail angle? He knows exactly where Rapha is right now.
Got the wrong weapon out though, but Rapha's not going to connect the shot to punish him. Actually, he's trying to deny LG away from Rapha, and he's actually baiting this one in relatively well. Problem is Rapha is not going to have any of this. And now Sirius has given up his spot being under Rapha. As now Heavy spawned back in. He's trying to actually bait this one in, trying to catch him, looking for that perfect LG. And Rapha instead goes a different direction, goes across the alleyway, and eventually gets over towards Heavy. Might he go for the drop now to force out the fight? But Sirius is just juggling him.
That's a risky play from... Oh my god, Rapha taking a rail right there. I mean, jumping across to Heavy is risky no matter who you're playing against. But when you're facing a true LG master like Sirius, that makes you clench.
That was such a sick jump, by the way, an orb by Rapha, because he orbed, right? And Sirius is looking at the orb. He's like, okay, he's not going to shoot me. If he takes it, I can hit him. But then Rapha jumps, hits him with LG, and almost forces Sirius to flick up towards him to free him up for a shot, and then takes the orb. And that's a nice double coming out of Sirius. Rapha very low on HP, and there we go. Sirius will fight back, and he'll get his round now.
I wonder if Rapha would have lived had he not rocket jumped off the Heavy, because he was around that 30 points of a health range right there, and then he rocket jumped and then took a rail. So I think that he might have lived had he not done that. Still unable to tell without his point of view as we are getting into the third round. This one is on Sirius.
Wow.
God! I know about vertical rails, but vertical nails? Now that's something else entirely, but Sirius might be overstepping his boundaries right here, taking a lot of damage. Backs away from the flames though. And Rapha is actually still the lower one of the two. Sirius wisely getting himself above that railable HP. He still wants the rockets, he wants the LG, but he heard Rapha drop down, and he hears him coming back up, missing the predicted rail. Mega will be up first now.
He just stopped spamming Tribal, though, and Rapha's able to just sneak that one clearly from him. And actually, he's going to be using the orb. And now with the orb down, Rapha with 2 seconds on, his Flame Strike could drop. He could force out a fight here. He has the ability advantage, and the Tribal perfectly timed.
Yep.
Sirius is low on HP, and Rapha's coming for him. He's got the Flame Strike. Will he use it? Yes, he does. He connects some decent damage, and the burn is real. And Rapha will get the frag and get the lead here in our third round.
Yeah, decent damage from Sirius on the shotgun at the end there, though. And Rapha is even going to go ahead and he's going to pick up that small armor at the top, denying it for Sirius when he would respawn. There we go. Good opening rail. Takes one in return, though. Doesn't stick around for it there.
Again, but he's playing long range. He's not trying to get up against the dual LGs of Sirius. It's a good rocket jump up. Rocket jumps away as well, back to the other 50 across the path.
Yeah, very nicely done by Rapha, escaping without taking any damage from Sirius in that situation. And here we go. Rapha feels like he's got the advantage. Sirius has more health, but he has got more armor. Nope, Sirius going for a rail. Can't quite connect it. Mega will be up first, so both players are going to move down the bottom side of the ramp. It will be Sirius getting it first, though. This is good for Sirius, but Rapha, is it too predictable? No, Sirius is actually going to go around. It's going to take the slower route there. Actually going to go up to shotgun. Clever play. Rapha didn't see that one coming, but unfortunately I think Sirius was a bit too slow because Rapha has already left the area.
I almost want to see Rapha pull a Razy here and just like kind of wait around a corner lurking with his ability to just completely blow up Sirius, because he's not having to worry about the Ranger anymore. There's no orb to insta-shove him. So if he plays that kind of style with Sirius moving around the map like he is, then that's just a massive amount of damage he can do and potentially another one round. But here we go. Sirius has dropped. He's been able to spot out Rapha. That rail, you don't hit that often. And Rapha makes it look all too easy. And now he's got Sirius locked with the Tribal. Gets caught with the wrong weapon, but you know what? When you got flames, who needs guns?
Wow, that was... for a second there, it looked like they were going to miss, but in the end, they did broaden far enough to land the damage. Here comes Sirius again, too aggressive. Yeah, Sirius didn't even look before he turned the corner. He just jumped right down, and Rapha was ready for him. And here we go. We are moving in what might already be the final round of the series. Can Rapha shut this one out 2-0? Yeah, Sirius not looking all that happy with his performance. Rapha starting this one off on DK. DK versus DK, actually. Heavy going to Rapha.
I mean, Rapha's now 1 round away. He's 3 eliminations away from moving through into the semifinals to play against Claws to double what he's already been able to earn getting into top 8. And Sirius, this is his tournament life on the line. Last round for him if he can't win this.
At this point, though, Rapha is just lacking weapons. Stack is okay. He's got his ability, positioning is good as well, but he doesn't have LG. He doesn't have Railgun. In comes Sirius, perfect read on Rapha, but the flames! I think both players used them, but Rapha surviving with 48 points of health, rather.
He's gonna get Mega too.
Oh no, Sirius, slow it down. He is not.
Why are you challenging this? Why are you fighting this? You're so lucky Rapha missed 3 rails in a row.
Oh my god, Sirius. Down to nothing, and
oh
here
my
we
God.
go. Rapha's gonna find him again.
What are you doing right now, Sirius? Is he tilted? Is
he might be.
Is he off the face of this flat Earth, or is he going to be able to come back into this? That's going to be another rail landing, and Rapha has his ability up. He has Mega in 2 seconds. He has Heavy to be able to pick up 2. He's just trying to get safe from a rail.
Yeah. And there he goes.
Oh,
Sirius, Rapha looking the wrong way. Is he going to pressure this one? Sirius, wow,
Oh
dual rail.
Maybe just Sirius wants to make it difficult, you know. Maybe wants to give Rapha a little bit of help here, feeding him that last elimination they didn't have with the Ranger following. But here we go. It's clutch time. It's crunch time right now for Sirius.
Yeah. Sirius just he needs to level out. He needs to slow it down a little bit, because at the start of this round he basically gave Rapha 2 frags in the first minute or so, and that's definitely not something that you want to do. So Sirius has got to be so careful that
This
he
could
doesn't
be it.
just this could be. Oh, but those rockets are huge. Rapha really low. Sirius jumping in, taking a lot of. Oh my god! Rapha,
Just
what? Just coming back up the bounce pad. What in the world was he thinking? I mean, clearly it worked. Sirius unprepared for that retaliation.
I know what he's thinking. He's thinking, you know what? I want at least 5 grand from this tournament, as he does come out there, gets the final elimination and the victory, and now we have finally, Flea, our first semifinal ready. It's Claus, and it is Rapha. And unfortunately for us, it's not going to be the game coming up next, but it's going to be a match you're going to want to watch. And look at Rafa's little reaction there. He was happy with that shot. And why wouldn't you be? To make such an aggressive play like that and to make it work out for you and to get yourself through into the semis now, amazing. And that's the second time now he's been able to make top 4 in a dual tournament. Jahar, what a crazy game. Unfortunately, Sirius's run of the tournament does end here, though.
You know, you have to think he paid his own way here. This is really his first major Quake dual LAN, and the fact that he made it into the money, made it into the playoffs. I know he's probably beating himself up a little bit from our interviews yesterday. Even after he had won, he was looking like pretty stressed out about it. But I really don't think he has any reason to be bothered by these results. I mean, you're going up against Rapha in the quarterfinals. I mean, that is no easy task.
Yeah, and looking again at the scoreboard, you again, second map in a row, see that Rapha's control over the items was just so good. And this time around, Rapha even doing considerably more damage. First map around, it was actually the other way around. Sirius getting most of the damage, but still losing on the items and control. Excellently played by Rapha.
I think, wow, as I go through puberty here live on air.
I'm so glad you think.
I do sometimes. I think Rapha came in with a game plan, and I think he executed it perfectly.
Yep.
He stayed out of the mid-range, and he got close when he had Death Knight, close when he got Ranger, and he stayed far away when he had the Rail, and he didn't allow Sirius to use that aimbot LG that he's known for. And that's the sign of a true champion right there, I think, to be able to execute the game plan you had laid out for you.
And I mean, you could see it on the scoreboard as well, because Sirius's accuracy was still just as high as ever with the LG, but he just didn't manage to do as much damage with it. Rapha out-damaged him with the LG just by not being at the perfect range at the perfect time, and he just out-positioned his opponent.
And I think you're right there, Jason. He really did avoid a lot of situations where that LG could be very strong against Rapha. It's something that he's been identifying over the past 2 days as incredibly strong. Not only that, but online. And actually, his LG, even in these matches, was very consistent. He was hitting like, what, 49% LG in the first couple maps. And that danger gave Sirius a bit of a leg up here, but when it came down to just like getting the reads, and there were a lot of those moments like that frag right there where Rapha just, he went a little crazy, he went a little nuts.
Oh yeah. And I mean, he made it work. It's something you don't usually associate Rapha with these really flashy plays with those high weapon accuracies, but damn, did he deliver this time around.
People forget sometimes, is like he's still really damn good at aiming. People always talk about his brain and how smart he plays, but he's still insanely good when it comes to hitting the shots, especially when they matter.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Style and substance. But
it's got the whole package.
We saw a little bit of Sirius like in that last round, just kind of running forward towards Rapha, and the word tilt came up a little bit as it can. But again, I think a lot of that will just get ironed out with more and more LAN play. Sirius is going to be a serious contender in the future, but our historic contender and our winner in the quarterfinals moving into the semifinals is going to be Rapha, who we've got joining us here right now. So Shane,